Chicago Crime Files. William Morris Stokes, Fluky, or as he was referred to by Chicago narcotic detectives, Super Dude, was something different to everyone that knew him. To some of the people of his community, friends and family, Fluky was a provider and a protector. According to neighborhood sources, Fluky has been known to pay members of the community's rent, give back to the community through various charities and softball leagues, and according to one resident, Fluky paid for her tuition at Illinois State University. To the police, Fluky was considered the top narcotics dealer to the black community, willing to resort to any lengths to protect his drug turf. Fluky's official occupation was listed as unemployed.
Well, I'm the dope man, yeah, boy, wear corduroy. Money up to here, but unemployed.
Though, when questioned as to how he amassed his vast fortune, Fluky contends,
I'm a gambler. I shoot pool, dice.
According to news reports, Fluky had a 5-page arrest record, and Fluky's record stretched as far back as 1962, when he was placed on probation for 1 year for theft. Some of Fluky's other charges include an arrest for gambling, battery, carrying a concealed weapon, and possession of drugs, all of which are jailable offenses. In 1973, Fluky was arrested at O'Hare International Airport for carrying 2 English-made machine guns, a carbine, 2 sawed-off shotguns, and a .38 caliber revolver. Fluky escaped prosecution by agreeing to testify against the cop that had been taking bribes, which resulted in that officer being fired. 4 months later, by August of 1973, Fluky and Big Bill Hill were arrested at O'Hare with 2 pounds of Mexican mud heroin. Yet the prosecution declined to act due to the belief that the heroin had been seized illegally. In 1975, federal narcotics agents began monitoring the flow of Mexican heroin from the Southern California border. In 1978, Fluky and Big Bill, Fluky's partner, co-defendant, and the alleged enforcer in Fluky's narcotics organization were charged in a 9-count indictment by a San Diego jury. The indictment charged Fluky with the possession of heroin with the intent to distribute, conspiracy to import heroin from Mexico, and the illegal use of interstate phone lines to sell heroin. So how much time did Fluky get for smuggling heroin from the Mexican border through California and turning Chicago into what the Chicago Tribune describes as the country's distribution center for heroin? 18 months. This was the result of a 3-year undercover operation. Upon his release, Fluky would never again serve any substantial jail time. By September of 1983, Fluky was charged with offering a $10,000 bribe to Pullman police officers in exchange for the officers fixing a murder case. According to police, Fluky wanted officers to alter testimony and provide Fluky with copies of police reports so that Fluky's lawyer could find loopholes in the defense's case. Officers working in the Pullman area would be Area 2 police officers, and allegedly,
Unit 5 has learned while some police officers were working hard trying to put Fluky behind bars, others were on his payroll, secretly feeding him police reports. Fluky's informers penetrated the police department's detective division at Area 1.
Fluky had already infiltrated Area 1, so the natural progression would be the next police station, right? At this point, you may say it's the job of the police to catch Fluky, and that would be a true assessment. The responsibility to apprehend Fluky lies solely on the Chicago Police Department. Yet Fluky was not operating like a man that was on the radar, of the Chicago police. In 1984, Fluky's son, Willie the Wimp, was killed at a local motel, and the funeral that Fluky threw was of epic proportions. The casket was in the style of a Cadillac Seville with functioning head and tail lights that blinked, white wall tires, and a vanity plate that read Wimp. Stevie Ray Vaughan even recorded a song about Willie and the funeral.
As you know, this must be a song about this guy all dressed up in his red hat, red suit, diamonds on all his fingers. The only problem was this guy was trying to drive to heaven in a coffin. He ain't going too far, I believe. Anyway, it's about that time again to say hello and goodbye to Willie.
In 1985, Fluky renewed his wedding vows in a $200,000 wedding ceremony in which the Staple Singers and the Shy-Lights performed. Fluky ended 1984 linked not only to a prison escape, but also to the murder of a local pharmacist. In January of 1985, Fluky was convicted in the bribery trial. In February of 1985, he was sentenced in the bribery case, but allowed to stay free on $75,000 bond, despite the assessment of Assistant State's Attorney Kenneth Wattis and Larry Worry that Fluky's gambling was just a front to launder his drug funds. In August of 85, Fluky was cleared in the murder case due to witnesses claiming they were paid $30,000 by the state's attorney's office to lie on Fluky in the case. Other witnesses claimed threats from police and prosecutors. Wait a minute. Why did anybody ever need to be paid off? According to police, Fluky was the drug dealer in Chicago, making up to $1 million a week in heroin profits. Why couldn't he be arrested for, I don't know, drug dealing? I am in no way, shape, or form implying that anybody other than Fluky should be held accountable for Fluky's actions, crimes, or behavior. But what I am saying is that for Fluky to be able to flagrantly flaunt his lifestyle acquired through ill-gotten means, the corruption in the Chicago Police Department has to run deep.
How deep? Shit, the devil stay right down the street.
Allegedly, according to police, prior to Fluky's death,
Unit 5 has learned that federal drug agents have been investigating the Fluky drug network for 3 years. And we have also learned that IRS was on the verge of indicting the flamboyant drug dealer for tax evasion at about the time he was killed.
That seems far too little, far too late.